how the entity explosion can connect the IONET data dictionary, that is this EU data. So this is a water body lake, and then if I use this extension here, he knows that SE something also is in Wikidata. So then I get up that this is Wikidata Q number something, and water body code. And the lake ID is another property in Sweden. Yes, you can see it's the same. I'm not sure why it was created. But then you can jump from the EU to this place. And if we go to a bathing place, Tylösand. This is a bathing place in Sweden. And if I click on this one, he finds the Wikidata item 87, and he also finds the EU location for that. Which means we can also stand on this EU and do a lookup in Wikidata and find the Wikidata object. And when we find the Wikidata object, we can see also the other properties. And in Sweden, we also have using this property for a site like this. And then I also tested adding the API for them. So this is a water in Sweden reported, bathing water reported to EU. And the cool thing is that they have this identifier. The bad thing is that the Swedish people have misused it a little bit. They don't create their own identifier because not every bathing water is reported to EU. So I think it's a little bit confusing. But they also have a API, and the cool thing is that bathing water in EU is, I guess, reported because we check the quality, and then you check the quality on some parameters, and those parameters are also available. They have done 2 APIs, so one is here, I think. And here you can see Charlotte, they have a text string API with the e-colli class text, Charlotte, which is okay. So this is the API for this unique identifier up here. So that's the cool thing, having this identifier that is the same as, this value at least, is the same as 9616 in Wikidata. And my reaction from the beginning was that people were sending around bathing water as text strings with no identifier. But now we have an identifier, then we can connect it with the Swedish agency and with the EU. So that's very cool. And using this entity explosion, then we can also go to TripAdvisor and so on. And they have their own, my understanding is they have their own knowledge graph, so they can always use this ID, and then dependent on the language site we select, we get it in different languages. So the interesting thing would be to get this more structured data, so it can be language independent. But I try to speak to the Swedish agency, and they are not interested in speaking about things like this. Sad, but that's life. Another cool thing we have done is that we have used, we can do like this. We have another property. This one was 9616, and 15 is a review site called Badkartan. So that's just in Swedish, but it's connected to a lot of places. So we can see here Kananbadet, which is a good bath. It's in Stockholm, and then we can jump to Badkartan, and that is a site with reviews. So here people say if it's good or bad. The cool thing here is that if you check in the, if we jump to the Swedish site, this one. Now it looks okay, but they had problem with pollution and so on. So what they have started doing cool things that this part, this the organization responsible for this bath, they report when they have a problem, which I think is excellent. They also say possible pollution sources and also actions done or will be done. The problem here is also that they do it using text strings. So if we check in the API, maybe we can get some, see if it's detailed or not. We start with detailed. Or maybe this one. This is just reporting water. Oh, this was not a good example. Here we have avloppssystem. It's a potential problem. And this is from 1990, so they have added all things also. And here they did an action 2009, removing problem with bird things in the grass or something like that. Here they have they are selling some ice cream or something like that next to the bathing water, and they see if they can change so they don't pollute the water. But things like this would be very cool to have in a more structured way, so you can point on the decisions. Here we have a text string for fastighetskontoret. That should be some entity pointing on the uniqueness and so on. So even a simple thing as a bathing water could get much more structure. And as you see here, we have the identifier. And the bad thing here is that this agency call it NUTS code. And NUTS code is for regions of different European things. So the naming is not good either. And also you can see that the name is... it's just text strings. It's not multilingual. But here we can see it's no problem with alg, and I think that's what they measure every month or something like that during season. And you have also start of season, end of season.